What's going on, guys? It's MagesticPie. Welcome to Fixing Shinies, a series where I take shiny Pokemon forms and change them around to make them look better or make them look like they make more sense. Please keep in mind that these are based solely on my opinion and you may think otherwise. With that, let's get started. So first up is Mr. Mime. So originally Mr. Mime is this kind of off-white color and then pink and blue for its body and its head. And then its shiny is green instead of the pink. So what I did was I decided first off in its body to change the pink over to black and then lighten up the off-white a little bit so it's a little closer to white and a little lighter. And then for the other parts I changed the pink from like its arms and its face over to that lightened up off-white color to kind of match the rest of its body, give it more of that mime kind of look that we all know of, with it being like that black and white striped shirt that mimes are known for. And then to finish off Mr. Mime, I changed its feet and like its hat kind of thing, ears. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but changed them from like that lighter blue, made them darker, so they're pretty dark. Don't think it was necessary to make it the black. I think the black would have been a little bit of overkill with the black and the white, but definitely not necessary. I think the dark blue looks really nice here. Alright, moving on to our second one is Noctowl. I've always loved Noctowl. I thought it was pretty cool, although I think its shiny design wasn't really that great. It seemed a little odd to me with like the gold and like the, I don't know, the weird off orange brown color for its wings. So I actually adjusted it a little bit, or a lot I guess. So for its body, taking it from the brown, I made it more into a white, kind of little off-white, kind of going off of a snow owl, because I thought that it was pretty cool. It kind of stands out in the night a little bit. And then with its wings, changing them from the brown, going a little darker, is kind of like this gray silver kind of color to keep with like the white spectrum with it. Also, the triangles that are on its stomach were a little bit darker, not by much, but they kind of stand out a little bit compared to its body and its wings and tail. And then lastly, for its face and its feet and all that stuff, I made them a little darker. The talons are a little bit more pronounced compared to its feet, making them kind of like that darker yellowish kind of color along with its beak. And then its eyes I changed from red to gold to kind of be a little bit more piercing and stand out more against that white. So yeah, that's what I did with Noctowl. Alright, moving right along into our third Pokemon that I had adjusted the shiny for is Ludicolo. So Ludicolo was actually a difficult one. I didn't really know exactly where to go with the colors, but I was thinking it's based off of like a mariachi band, sort of go off of colors with the mariachi. So implementing it was a little difficult, but I think I pulled it off somewhat well. So first off with it is changing like the yellow fur color to it. I made that more of a dramatic red, and then the stripes that were on there, I made those a yellow to kind of get that contrast that the mariachi colors have. And then for the remaining, most of that green, I changed more to this dramatic standout blue that I think really draws attention to like its hands and like the hat dish thing. And then its mouth I just made a little darker orange. So that's all that I'd done with Ludicolo. Okay, on to number 4 is Torterra. So Torterra's shiny wasn't really anything spectacular. They just changed the brown to a mix of brown and green, made the green a little lighter, and about called it a day with it. It's not really that standout or anything like that, so I decided to change it up a little bit. So starting off with its body part, I changed the brown to make it a lot darker. The stones were made darker as well, and then the green was changed to a pink. So I think it definitely stands out a lot more compared to either its regular shiny form and then the regular form as well. And then to move on to its shell, I did the same exact thing. So I changed the green to the pink, made the brown darker. I had made the trunk of the tree a little lighter to seem like it was a little bit more vibrant with life, and then changed the leaves to a pink to make it seem like a sakura tree, which was the whole theme I was going with, because I think it's a pretty cool concept, because Torterra is more of like this big, bulky land Pokemon, and, you know, lighten it up a little bit with some pink. Why not? Okay, and on to number 5 is Swana. So the whole kind of idea that I was going with Swana was kind of like the golden goose story from Jack and the Beanstalk, where, you know, Jack climbed up the beanstalk and he found the golden goose that laid the golden eggs. So that's kind of where I was going with this. So what I did first with its body, I changed it from like the white and sort of blue kind of color that the shadows make to more like that real vibrant gold color. And so its chest kind of stands out a little bit, but we'll get to that in just a second. Its beak kind of blends in a little bit. So what I did from there with this is I changed its feet to a little bit more of a like dark yellow, almost brown kind of color. And then I changed its chest to be more of a golden kind of yellow kind of color. And then its beak I changed so it was more of a darker orange rather than the yellow that just kind of blended in with the rest of its body. So that's what I did with Swana. So it wasn't the best. I think it could have turned out better, but it's more or less the concept of it. Alrighty, coming in at number 6 is Talonflame. Talonflame is great whenever it was introduced in Generation 6. I still use it. It's wonderful. There's so many different ways you can use it. But its colors were a little lackluster in its shiny form. They just kind of changed the orange to a red and then changed the black to like a dark red kind of color. Didn't really change around the gray and the yellow from like its wings and its beak. So what I did first was with its body, I changed all the orange and reds to a more dramatic blue, and then made the gray like a darker blue kind of color, with its body being that more kind of aqua blue, and then for like the flames kind of represent like a really hot flame, because whenever fire gets really hot, it changes from like that red, orange, yellow kind of color to this like real vibrant blue green. And that's what I was going with here. And then its body is more like an icy blue kind of thing. And then for the rest of it, for the black and the gray and the yellow, what I did is I changed it to this more dramatic orange to kind of counter the blue, and then I made the tail like this really dark blue to kind of contrast the orange stripes with it, and then the talons and around its face are an orange to kind of contrast the gray. I decided to keep the gray just a little tiny bit around its face and its beak to kind of just stand out a little bit more, but it's not too much of a difference to say like this is what it normally looks like with its shiny form. So I really like it. I think it looks great, but you know, but yeah, that's Talonflame. Alright, Alrighty, and then last but not least, coming in at number 7 is Gumshoos. Gumshoos is one of my absolute favorites, even though it's poor competitively since it's got a low base stat total. I love its design, I love its concept. I loved it whenever it was first introduced, that with Young Goose, because it was just Donald Trump memes galore that came out with this thing. I love it. Not to turn this into anything political and not to take sides and whether I agree or disagree with the guy. I mean, he's our president. Enough said there. But I kind of embraced that while I was working on Gumshoos, even though technically Gumshoos isn't based off of Donald Trump. He's based off of like an inspector or a detective stalking out its prey, if you will. So what I did was I changed the brown on its body, the brown fur, and I made it black. It's a pretty stark contrast against the yellow, so to change the yellow to make it seem more like a suit, what I had done is I changed the yellow on its body and the back part of its tail from yellow to a nice white. And then I made its nose just a little more red, just a little, poking a little humor, because the guy can be a bit of a clown, but once again, not turning anything political into this. It's just for fun, just a joke, and then just keeping with the yellow hair just to make it look even more like the Donald. So, that's just my interpretation. I could very easily just make the white body onto the white hair as well, just for continuity with it, but it's nothing political. It's just something stupid that I put together because whenever I first saw Young Goose and Gumshoos, it reminded me of Donald Trump. But as I said multiple times now, it's nothing political. It's nothing to poke fun at him. It's just something that's just funny. Alright, and that's it, guys. So if you liked it, make sure you give the video a like, share the video, that's always appreciated. If you have any suggestions for anything, comments are always welcome. If you think that I can improve something that I've already done in this video, leave a comment. I might even do it in a future video, maybe special video where I throw in an extra comment where I fix whatever was in a comment, or even do something new that was suggested that maybe I didn't think of. But as I said, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Don't forget to subscribe for more, and then there's definitely going to be more to come. Alright, see ya!